The sun was rising by the time they made it back. Alice rode along with Marisa again, extracting a solemn vow not to make a repeat performance of the trip out. The vow was observed after just 2 or 3 barrel rolls, which was better than expected. Alice wasn't sure why she put her arms around Marisa again. It wasn't so much a desire to be physically close to her, she was enjoying the fact that she could. The very same body seemed so solid now it felt like cotton in a soft-hewn infernal world of monsters and gods. She was certain to avoid her friend's bruises and keep her weight up, and Marisa still winced every now and then. I think we got off to a good start, huh? Marisa says to stop at Alice's lawn. When we get past your boats back, we can hole in there and really hit the thing hard. Anyway, better go home. Would you like to come in and rest before you go? Marisa wavered visibly and shrugged. Sure, okay. You got a water closet? After all the tea, I feel like I gotta pee like a racehorse. Down the stairs, just staying well out of the way. As her guest rushed down, she paused by the kitchen table and picked up 2 of Green's pieces, turning them over in her fingers. I'm sorry, she said, feeling a little silly about it. I won't use you so thoughtlessly next time. Outside, the army dolls were retreating to their standby positions, giving Alice a faint feeling that she'd been sitting for the first time in hours. Will they become part of my being in the same way Patchoulie's books had joined hers? She wondered. Is that something I want to happen? Light boobs turned back up the steps. Marisa said, wipe her hands on her skirt. You have some amazing hand stuff. You should go maybe your supplier. Sure, said distractedly, setting the pieces down. Feel like I just lost about 4, but I don't want to hear about it. Okay. She flopped in a love seat and set her head on let her head low back with a soft groan. Oh, and I'm not sure, but I think I owe you my life. You know, depending on how the thing with Koa could have gone. I think she was really going to mess me up. Think nothing of it, Alice said quickly. Holding debts over people made her skin crawl. Is my life worth so little? She asked bitterly. She couldn't think of a single thing to say that. Well, we'll work it out. Sorry for dragging my drama with Patchy there. After a certain moment, Alice crossed her love seat and sat next to her friend, shifting awkwardly from a comfortable distance. This gave her enough time to compose a reply. I'm glad I was there to help you, silly. I'm glad you came to see me. You did nothing that requires an apology. Not yet, but maybe I will. Just wait. Perhaps that's what always happens between friends, isn't it? Perhaps, she said, echoing her tone. That's kind of funny. You're being so careful. Well, I don't know how to do this. How it stung to admit that. The witch's smile came a smirk. And what is it you think you're doing? After 2 or 3 false starts, she gave it trying to an answer. Just flailing away, huh? She asked sympathetically. She went about somewhere and interrupted herself with a huge yawn. I suppose I am. It's okay, it's okay. I think I see where this is going anyway. We're gonna do great things, you and me. Wonderful things. Terrifying things. You'll look back and wonder how we got there, and there'll be no answer. What are you talking about? No idea. I get like this sometime. Hey, listen, before I forget, I think the thing Patchy's gonna say to you was... Then without warning or apology, slipped sideways and fell asleep. Oh, wow. Well, now I want to know what it was. Marisa shook her shoulder gently, but the guest didn't stir. Here's a situation she never expected. Oh, wait. She fell asleep on her shoulder. Here's a situation she never expected. She drew up a mental plan, stand aside, lower her guest gently to seat, and get to work on rebuilding Shanghai Agreement, except for herself lowering her head to rest on Marisa's and hardly understanding why. It was a strange experience of someone so close and vulnerable, but it was kind of nice. What a strange day. She drew her knees up and turned so she wouldn't be pressing Marisa's neck into an awkward position. Heaps of doll seeing shift and settle as her mind relaxed, so it was probably just her sleepy imagination. Knowing subconscious doll motion, she really noticed a Shanghai orange climbing up and squirming under Marisa's arm. Brought you around, huh? Well, no, this wasn't time for externalizing. She was the one who been brought around. Or a part of her, at least. For a moment, Alice got that awful, dizzy, out-of-control sensation. Damn you, Miko, I had a good thing going, but... No, it's okay, isn't it? This might be even better, but it's exhausting. How often will I have to... Just sleep on it, Orange snapped. Good idea, Alice agreed and conked out. I love this so much. Another peaceful morning in Tokyo. Rima made a painful break tradition and rose with the sun that day. A Matsuri is coming in just a couple of weeks, and the shrine grounds need to be especially clean for anyone who bothered to swing by and get purified. Muttering blackly, she patted the blinding sun stretched out for the day. Taking a moment to let the view calm her. The rumbled hills and soaring forests of eastern Ginsoka stretched out below a ridge far too pretty to stay mad at. Well, she sighed out loud, nothing to do but get started. As she turned back toward the day's work, though, something awful flickered in the corner of her eye. Just for a second, she thought she saw an immense, cadaverous shadow bending over a donation box. She froze, afraid to complete the turn and confirm, but a sharp clink of an offering snapping out of it. She rushed back to the box for a hand to come up with an ordinary copper coin. What the? Suika, is that you? Well, answers a thunderous snore from the guest room. She turned the coin over, trying to figure out why an infallible hell beast would drop such a mundane gift off. I thought you would be happy, a sweet voice said. Long, slender arms fell on her shoulders, fingers come down one by one and gently trapping her. Isn't it nice to see a little piety now and then, Shrine Maiden? Yukari, Rimu gasped. What the hell is... Never do that again! As you wish, the yokai absent overlord against Tokyo conceded, amused. I will never donate to your shrine again. Rimu growled and whipped around, lightly pushing Yukari back. The yokai towered over her, magnified further by an extravagant dress of white revels and purple satin. Her features were sharp and aristocratic, beautiful like an unforgiving mountain range even when she smiled. Rimu almost found her visits uncomfortable, not just for the obvious reasons. "So what do I owe the pleasure then?" Rimu asked, her tone making clear this wasn't anything of the sort. "I just heard about your little scheme with the doll maker and I thought I'd check up on it," Yukari explained. "I was perfectly discreet, of course. I must say you have an interesting way with people, Shrine Maiden. Very wily." "I thought it was simple enough," Rimu admitted. "You acting like I hatched some kind of master plan there." Yukari walked past her, looked over against Soko, spreading a parasol against the cheery sun. Rimu came forward to take advantage of shade and they watched the migrating birds for a minute or two. She was glad for a time to collect her thoughts. Talking with Yukari made her feel like they were sparring, but she never knew the rules or objective. "Well, they appear to have hit it off," Yukari said finally. "Just as planned," Rimu said satisfied. Also preparing to do some dangerous magical research together." As expected, research involves manipulating the Master Spark. Rimu twitched, all according to plan? Yukari chuckled. Something writhed in the corner of Rimu's vision and kept her eyes locked straight ahead. She didn't want to see what was standing next to her. "Well now, you're playing a dangerous game, Shrine Maiden. What plans could you have made to require your little pet berserker to gain greater control over the Master Spark?" "She's not anything of the sort," Rimu said firmly, turning a defiant look up at Yukari. There was a weird, nauseous moment where the folds of her dress looked like an alien landscape, and then she met the yokai's violet eyes and everything settled into 3 dimensions again. "And my plans are my own business." "Oh, what a tone!" Yukari covered her smile with a fan. "One could almost begin to imagine you've been wrong-footed by this development." "Imagine if you like," Rimu said airily. "I'm just pleased you got Alice out of her house of dolls for a bit. Makes me sad when yokai are treating your own little world, nothing to challenge them and stagnate. I've seen it happen." Yukari patted the Miko's head. "Well, my dolls are much nicer, so I'm content." Rimu grumbled. She should have thought analogy for Rimu carefully. "At any rate, it's a relief to see you have everything under control." Yukari took a single measured step suddenly at the shrine's arch 20 meters away. "I suppose I'll wait and see what you're planning like everyone else. I do hope it's entertaining." "Oh, it will be," Rimu found herself saying. She had no idea what she was supposed to be playing, but it wouldn't do to show uncertainty in front of this yokai. "It'll blow your mind." Yukari laughed in a voice clear as a bell and full of warmth. The lovely sound distracted her from her shadow, which was doing some very unnerving things. "I hope so, Shrine Maiden, I hope so, but don't strain yourself now. I'm fond of you and hate to see you hurt just to give us all a good show." "What can I say?" Rimu spread her hands, half smiling. An easygoing mass up to her features without effort. "And a zookeeper doesn't keep you occupied, who will?" True enough. Yukari turned over the course of a half second, her form stretched taller, thinner and thinner. She slipped into a gap between fibers of space itself and vanished. The motion briefly pushed a gap wide enough for Rimu to see all the horrible things beyond it, however that worked. A friendly hand brushed across her shoulders and Yokai's voice left her with, "I can't wait and see." Rimu immediately sat down and started gasping for breath. It's been too long Yukari here to feel her organs were in the wrong places. The laws of physics were a sort of joke and she'd been thoroughly outwitted even if they were just discussing the weather. And now she had to figure out how to make some kind of amazing scene involving a Master Spark she wouldn't have like an idiot in front of the entirety of Gensokyo. A sterling reputation is vital for incident solvers after all. She was intentionally playing up the dimensional fucker, you know, a soft, sardonic voice in her ear. She knew you'd be smart to admit you hadn't planned everything out if you weren't scared shitless. "Not now, Mima," Rimu said in the air, rising. "Just saying this is how she gets her entertainment. She plays you like Suika's Game Boy." The Miko crossed her arms aside. "Just as planned, huh? But on the bright side," the shrine's resident evil spirit continued, "if anyone can help you hatch a diabolical scheme involving the Master Spark." Marisa was down on her feet when she finally touched down the doorstep of a cute little cottage just off the magic forest's main footpath. From the outside it looked perfectly homey and neat, more like an idyllic painting for an actual home than anyone live in. Shifting Shanghai arch to one shoulder and handing in an ill-gotten book, she eased the door gingerly open and slipped inside. The interior is a nightmarish maze of random junk, which probably didn't keep anything that would rot or smell. With the ease of long press, she threaded her way through, brushing past priceless relics and worthless scrap with equal discernment. The main floor is one gigantic hoard, a sharp and pointy death trap, liberally sprinkled with objects that would blow up or shoot back if you attack them. Some of the items she collected she thought looked cool, others that add to her defense, and still others because... And Rimu wondered why she was always hanging out at the shrine. In a room that should have been a kitchen, she known a hidden trapdoor and a chain combination lock, careful not to bang her head on a sword rack awkwardly wedged between a broken refrigerator and a bookcase full of demonic forbidden tomes. The locked spirit was touchy. It looked for any excuse to shock the hand that gripped it, even for just having the wrong attitude and dialing. Fortunately, it seemed since Marisa wasn't in the mood to take its crap today. Down the slide she went, groaning in frustration as her waistcape caught in the closing door and dropped into a different world. The Mari Cave's entryway was a broad, shallow slope panned by thin blades of sunlight through the cracked ceiling and matted over with thick, sweet-smelling moss. Mushrooms are a description-dotted expanse collected from all over Gensokyo. It's not like the hodgepodge above, though. Every patch was placed with a clear eye and cared forward a mycologist touch. You never know you need a good mushroom after all. She noted the patch of Cadium red stools and picked out a long, juicy one, and moved over to a strand of pink, thin mushrooms and took a few seconds carefully figuring through ones that would make her puke up her skull and die for coming up with the specimen she needed. Absentmindedly chewing on stalk, she started homeward, and the doll had fallen on her shoulder while shifting around and toddled along her way with the book, slipping and tumbling on uneven moss. The slope narrowed with a thin path overlooking the Mari Cave proper, a mighty jagged expanse dimly lit by great fields of blue and gold fluorescent fungi. She spent her years training in this shadowy domain, whipping between stalagmites and stalagmites on her broom and gouging out whole new atra with her magic. Long ago in another life she lived in this cave, sitting on salamanders and moss while trained for months on end to fight the red and white, but it had all been for naught. Further along the path stood a rude building slapped together with thick, sturdy beams and planks heavily inscribed with overlapping magic circles. She pressed the palm in the center of the door and waited for it to recognize her. After a long pause, she gave Shingai Orange time to catch up. It gave her a happy ping and opened a sumptuous living room with overstuffed furniture, beautiful paintings, and a magical fireplace that leapt to life as soon as she entered. "Pretty nice, right?" said the doll, but it looked at her blankly. "Never mind, wipe your feet before you go in." It did. Before letting herself sit, Marisa snatched a small bowl and pestle on a side table and set to work on a red mushroom, mushing in a thin paste in a few furious seconds. The pink mushroom, a powerful painkiller, was already going to work. The witch cast her boss aside and sat heavily, groaning as she surveyed the damage. The bruises from Wriggleshot and Kawakima's fist hadn't started to fade yet. The space between his solar plexus and left thigh was swallowed in a smeary thundercloud. Cut through at vivid red lightning. Her joints throbbed softly from an abuse of ringing a broomstick through dogfight maneuvers, and her head was starting to hurt from the dehydration. She should have taken it easy on the tea. Now she had time to stop and think. A million aches and pains rushed around her and sucked her strength away. What a day. "Hey, Orangey, make yourself useful at holding the bowl out. Put this on me, okay?" The doll, which had been staying mindlessly, carelessly dropped the book and trundled her, struggled its way up to the chair and to set the bowl. Once she had a soft brush, she quickly got to work on giving her wounds a light coating. She tried to figure out her next move. Working out? No. Studying? Hurt too much to focus. Gathering Patchy's books? Maybe when she can move. With a feed shy, she tossed a bullet up the ceiling, hit a magic circle, activated a phonograph in the next room. Soft jazz drifted out and bounced on the room's dancing shadows. When Shanghai Orange ran out of pace, Marisa put its tool aside and set the doll on her lap. Could she make it up to the bed at least? Probably not until the painkiller set in. Picked up a picture on the side table and gazed at it, half wistful, half irritated. A younger Marisa and a purple-haired Rimu stood on the outside of the human village with huge grins, linked arms, and towering sundays. "The things I do for you," Marisa sighed. She knew most of today's injuries were her own fault, but she couldn't help. Goddamn. Okay, bedtime. Unfortunately not bedtime, we're almost done though. Alice realized she was dreaming almost instantly. The blue, green, purple light flickering through the windows and the arctic wind howling through her living room were pretty good indicators. She realized it was a nightmare. She found herself leading Marisa down the stairs to a secret workshop inexplicably full of meat hooks and dismembered corpses instead of doll-making tools. Calm and purposeful, her dream self stretched a dream Marisa out on a work table. Undressed her and started flaying her limbs to anchor marionette strings in her bones. Since Alice didn't know how you're supposed to remove eyes, her subconscious supplied a tangerine spoon, some big cheery marbles to replace them with. Really, as her dream set went out the gruesome work of rendering Dream Marisa into a living doll, found the whole situation too absurd to be that horrifying. Okay, that's enough. What are you playing at me? Obliging, her dream shifted, she was back upstairs, staying in front of a love seat and as though she'd just risen. She wasn't fooled though. Her house had become an endless task-rack of identical living rooms full of low, coiling black mist and endless heaps of dolls. A few were dangling from nooses, which took some effort for her to ignore, but nothing details bar as much as a lack of exit. "She's better than you," Shanghai Red said. The little doll stood in the nearest indentation on the kitchen table, smiling horribly. "She's stronger and smarter and braver than you'll ever be." "That's why part of you wants to destroy her," Indigo added from the top of a couch beside her. "She's upset your little world and you can't stand the fact you can't control her." "Who said I would do that?" Alice asked. The act of speaking seemed to anchor her in a dream upon which she forgot she was even dreaming. "That's ridiculous, and I'm perfectly fine about that I can't control her. In fact, it's refreshing." "They can smile in dreams. I can only imagine what it looks like." "This is just a friendly warning," Indigo said, ignoring her. "You have the will and skill to do terrible things. You knew this, of course. When you went out to the broader world, you may find the motivation. You hid from the world. You built your perfect fairy tale queendom." Red gestured to a mountain of dolls. "You surround yourself with yourself in 100 little bodies, full away, safe and snug with your toys and research. But now that will change. And if you keep challenging yourself, if you keep growing, why, your own mind might not be the safest place for you anymore." Alice realized the dark space around her room were filled with glimmering eyes. An army of dolls was watching her, waiting to see what she would do. "So what will it be?" Indigo asked. "How will you relate to a world that's opening before you?" "You'll fail," Rail said, smile growing wider. "You'll retreat and curl up in your cottage." Or you'll lash out. You'll make Ensokyo undercudge and the people your dolls. You are a monster now, you know. It's only expected. Well, if they were allowed to ignore what she said... Since when did you grow a spine, Red? Alice asked. I wouldn't have thought you capable of mouthing off like this. It's easy to deal with weaklings, Red replied dismissively, and from where I stand, we are the weakest of them all. That stoop, she started, interrupted by a familiar sound of light boots tromping up the steps behind her. The Marisa doll. Sneer all you want, but there's a part of you that wants something very much like this. To crush, to dominate anything that doesn't move to your will, no matter how much you love it. No, because you love it. So turn and face it, Red cried. Face that sigh yourself. Face what you want to make of your new friend. Or stand like a stunned cow and prove what we all know about you. Alice stared. She could feel the cold floorboards beneath her feet and hear the Marisa doll breathing wetly behind her. Her mind gripped her strings, and everything in Tesseract was part of a grim tangle. Alice set foot aside, not sure if it was a preparation to turn or flee. The gleaming eye shifted to $1,000 and leaned closer. On top of everything else, are you even scared of yourself? Red asked. Is it true you can't even stand the wilds of your own mind? It is! You're a coward on every front, in every direction. You're a weakling and a fool. It was true, she couldn't. This was really too much. Only out was... suddenly burst out laughing. That's it! A good old anxiety dream. Oh, well played, me. Red stoned on whatever I was about to say. You... what? Of course I'm scared. This friends thing is new to me. Of course I have unsavory desires. Everyone does. This is all just stress from yesterday. It's so ridiculous. Was all this drama necessary? Did it be such a production? Yeah, sorry. Blue said coming out of shadows. It kinda did. Ah, my diligence, of course. I do everything perfectly even when it's tormenting myself. She turned and saw a dream Marisa standing there whole and healthy. Sorry, as you can see my heart's been a mess. We'll find room for you. Man, of course you. There's always room for Marisa. I don't think Marisa would really say it that way. Well, that's your own fault. She tweaked her nose. Stop having a stupid mental image of me then. I'll do my best. Marisa moved into the couch and sat up, shrugging aside a blanket someone had spread over her. Her house was once again a friendly plush wonderland, and the midday sun gleamed invitingly through the windows. She turned around in confusion, trying to figure out why she was alone, trying to figure out why that was a surprise. Oh right, she said as the day rushed back. She brushed her hand over her sleeve, which was still damp with witch drool. How novel. She stood and stretched, relishing the fiery, stiff feeling in her limbs. It had been 2 months since the last Danmaku match. There was only one cure for that, and it made her smile. A draft made her realize she'd been walking around today with a big gash down her back of her dress from a mysterious shot, which for some reason is funny to think about instead of infuriating. When she ripped her turn to blanket, she noticed one of her books was missing. But she didn't think of anything else. She probably misplaced it while she was waiting for Marisa to arrive. So what to do with today? There was a lot of work ahead of her, and now she had a study partner to consider. After changing one of the around-the-house dresses, she came back down to find fewer dolls staying in a circle. They responded to her mind and wondering, apparently, and getting her curiosity on the kitchen table, a note rendering Marisa's wild, almost illegible cursive careening all over the page. Hey, so, one of your dolls adopted me? Little orange bugger wouldn't stop following me around. Can you control him in your sleep? I wasn't sure if you're messing with me, but I'm taking her home anyway. Ask her if you want her back, but hurry, because she's so damn cute, I might just keep her. I had a great time. Rima put me up to this, but I'm glad she did. I'll bug you later so we can have a shootout of you reading Apaches, okay? Oh, hey, do you, drink? So much I don't know about you. Apache was gonna ask for help with a spell with Sakya. I don't know what's going on, but it's always time he gets off her ass with some serious magic, so I think he should help her out. Also, sorry I copped one of your books. What? You can't be serious. Didn't you learn your Wait. There's something hidden beneath the note, a wooden disc throbbing with horrible eldritch powers, and probably what attracted dolls in the first place. How'd she manage to overlook the mini Hakero reactor? Beneath was a short note. Want to take a look? I figure you're good folks, so keep it safe, and don't tell Rima or Lint or she'll have to reach down my throat and rip my ovaries out. Holy shit. Mari. The signature included a little heart seemed like an odd touch, but Alice supposed she had a lot to learn about the witch, and why would such a wary person trust a new acquaintance her only means of defense? Was it her only means of defense? Anyway, she wouldn't keep it for long. Okay, children, she said, clapping her hands. Now that you're not just guarding my home, you're guarding something precious to me. And it would obliterate all life and get so fell in the wrong hands, so take this seriously. The dolls listened patiently. They knew everything when she was telling them, of course, because they were her. Once she was certain she thought of everything, Alice locked Mihiko in her workshop, deployed the defense doll, set out in the sun. Oh yes, she said, beckoning. A Shanghai doll in blue and red flew out and lit on her shoulder. Let's go, me. Let's, the Shanghai said. She wasn't sure if she was surprised or not. Where was she going? What did it matter? And Ginso has a panoply of wonders, mysteries, and horrors before her, and any path she could take would lead somewhere interesting. With a determined smile and a spring in her step, Alice left her cottage behind. And that's where we'll leave off for today, because that is the end of the story, and I feel very satisfied with that. I love this story so much. I'm glad I could read it again to all of you.